Now I'm just going to say from the very beginning, Rigs Mechanized Combat League needs to become an esport. I don't know, this game fulfilled a lifetime dream for me of getting to feel like I'm a Gundam pilot. I can't tell you, I was giddy like a little kid, man. I was so pumped about this. I thought I'd get motion sickness, but they put some things in there that'll try to hinder that a little bit. I'll talk about that later on. But man, it felt so awesome getting to don your mech suit and go out and compete. This game has unlimited replayability just because it is like a sports game. You know, you go through seasons and it doesn't really end.
Might seem small compared with other rig types you'll encounter, but she's got it where it counts in terms of speed and maneuverability. She's equipped with twin auto-reloading assault cannons. These are the most advanced sticks on the market, giving you hair trigger control over movement and firing.
This is so awesome.
She has state-of-the-art servos and actuators throughout her chassis, allowing her to cope with any terrain. Pretty cool, right?
And speaking of the seasons, the way they go about it is kind of similar to a soccer season. So, you know, you win, you get so many points, but during the actual season you have tournaments that occur as well. So you get to compete for more fame and glory. It's so cool.
Out there. Every win is a morale booster for the whole team.
Now, something I was a little concerned about how it would be was the aiming in the game, and it's actually not as bad as I thought. They give you some options. The way you aim is by moving your head. So wherever your head goes is wherever your bullets are going to fly. So one thing they actually did to make it a little easier, because the way the default settings are is, you know, let's say it's someone off the screen. So the more you move, your mech is actually going to move with your head. But I actually found that a lot more difficult because it's delayed. So it does, but there is sensitivity that you can increase, but it's still, there's a little delay there. It's not like you're moving and your mech's going to move with you no matter what. There's still going to be a little delay. So what I found is that it was easier to choose their second option, which was to move with your stick. The right stick, because when you're moving, you know, oh hey, my head's moving and it's gonna go past the screen, so I might as well start moving the right stick. So it's a lot easier to aim. And I loved the combat in this game as well. It felt good. They gave different guns, multiple different guns that you can use, and just all their own effects. Just combat was fantastic.
Good work. Textbook.
And since we're kind of already on the whole topic of the combat, I'll go ahead and mention some of the things that they implemented to try to prevent motion sickness. And one of the things, well, first thing, is the tunnel vision. What they did to try to prevent it, and this is optional, you can take this off, but one of the things they did to try to prevent it was that tunnel vision. So you're not going to get as much on your peripherals. And I could tell the difference. I opened it up just to see. Instantly, I felt different because of it. I got over it. Thankfully, this is a game that I did not really get motion sickness from, because I did from a lot of others. Drive Club made me miserable. I couldn't do it. I played it for 5 minutes and was like, I am done. There's no way I could do this. But everybody's different, and I'll talk about that in my PSVR review. But another thing that they did was when you die, you eject from your suit. You fly like 300 feet up into the air. And if you don't have the mask on, you see it all. So you might get a little bit of vertigo here and there. But what they did, like I said, they allowed you to have a mask on. So when you get ejected, your screen just goes black. and you don't even have to see anything. So they did a lot of things to help you out, and I want to commend the dev team for that also. I mean, it's good to think ahead like that, because that kind of stuff's going to happen, especially with PSVR being so new. It's just kind of hard to predict how people are going to feel about it. But good job.
To deploy back into the... To deploy, turn...
And one of the things I was actually very surprised about was the options that the dev team gave us when it comes to the different mechs that we could choose. There's 4 different classes, and they each have their own strength and weakness. Of course, I chose the big tank. I always play a tank in whatever I do. Every MMO I play, every RPG, I'm the big armored guy with the sword and shield. Granted, there's no sword and shields here, but I chose the guy with the short range, in-your-face combat. It's just how I've always been. But not only did they give you 4 classes, they gave you, I don't want to say 6 different benefits to each one. So you have the 4 classes. Mine was the Sentinel. So let's say you have the Sentinel, but you have the Sentinel in 6 different variations. So each one has its own benefit. Me personally, my favorite game was the touchdown game. It's like football, capture the flag football. You get the football in the middle of the arena and you run it to the opposing team's goal. And that's how you score. And I loved it. I loved that game mode. To me, that was so much fun. And one of the perks of my rig that I had was that if I kill you, even though you're on the other side of the map, because normally if you get killed and you have the ball drops and that it's free game for anyone that wants to pick it up. Well, my rig, it's called a thief. So if I killed you even though you were on the other side of the map, I stole the ball. It went automatically to me. So if you were almost ready to score, I'm near your goal and I shoot you dead, it's a 5-foot walk and it's a touchdown.
The classes using the basic rigs before you commit.
Now the UI, the dev team did a good job with it being just crisp, nice and pretty. But I will say there's a lot to it. It's not that simple, so to speak, but they do a good job at giving tutorials at the beginning of the game. Just make sure you pay attention to those tutorials.
Okay, this is the online lobby area. From here, you'll arrange online fixtures and invite friends to join your team.
Now the UI in this game is actually really good. They're not slouches. You know, there's games I went in and they were the number 2 team in our league and I trounced them like 14-5. But then on the other foot, there's games that I went into and they trounced me 10-2. So the AI is good. They're not just going to let you walk all over them. You're going to have to earn that win every single time. And speaking of the AI, something I liked was that they let you choose your team. Like, you're kind of the captain of your rigs team, and you get to choose the class that you want, because you get two teammates. So you get to choose their class and the type of rig that they have. So let's say you know the next match is going to be the match where you got to score touchdowns. You can grab 2 teammates that have the thief rig. That way you're better equipped to win the match.
Looking to score. The Vultures score! This is none other than 2 goals in a row for the Vultures with no strike early, moving. The defense is not.
And you have 3 different competitive game modes for both offline and online. You get the one where you just score the touchdowns, grab the ball in the middle and run it to the opposing goal. That's my personal favorite. You get a straight up team deathmatch, which they have other names for them. And then you get one where there's a part where it's overkill. You either collect 3 golden orbs or get so many kills on the opposing team's rigs, and you get all benefits at once, which I'll go into the benefits in a second. But you get all the benefits at once: speed, increased damage, and healing. Well, once you get that overkill, you got to go to the very top of the map, which is not easy to get to because everyone knows you have that overkill, so they're gunning for you because that's how you're going to score. You got to get to the very top of the map and jump through a little hoop, and that's how you score in that game mode.
10 seconds to halftime. Takedown. For the end zone. The carrier takes the ball as
Almost there, keep moving.
that comment is almost score for the Comets.
But back to the little abilities that you can choose. Normally you can only choose one at a time, and that's kind of a skill aspect that they put into this game. You see, if you're losing and you can get behind cover, you can press triangle and switch to the repair option and repair real quick, then back to the circle, or, well, no, this is just PlayStation. Haha. I'm just kidding, I like all systems, I'm a gamer, man. But you press circle and you go to the increased damage. So, I mean, there's different ways you can, each scenario requires a different choice. At the start of the game, I always have my speed equipped, especially in the end zone game mode. So you press that square and you try to shoot off as fast as you can for the middle.
Now we'll go over something very important: your rig's power modes. Your rig features a power distribution system, which allows you to instantly change between turbo mode, impact mode, or repair mode. Turbo mode increases the movement speed of your rig. Impact mode increases the offensive power of your weapons, and repair mode engages your auto repair systems.
And one of the things I liked to kind of go along with the different kind of mechs that you could get was the customization. It's really cool to be able to unlock visors and helmets and the actual suits that you wear, kind of like your jerseys. And you can unlock those through online competitive play, the story, and trials and sponsorships. You get sponsors that are willing to pay you more money if you can do certain things in certain game modes. And sometimes it's not always money, sometimes you get that cool piece of gear. And, you know, because of how difficult sometimes these things could be, you're going to know when you see somebody that has that equipped, you're going to be like, holy crap, there's a good chance this guy's really good because he's actually done this achievement, and it was hard.
Excellent. Let's do the same for offline matches. These are the offline contracts. Remember, hold the cross button to sign the deal. Great! Now remember, each first completion will give you a bonus reward, thing we didn't cover during the orientation tour. But for now, let's start winning some matches.
Move smart. And the clock starts. A sweet 5-or combo buys some valuable extra time. It's not good enough for the platinum, but he's still in the running for a gold standard time.
And another thing that I thought was really good, I mean, there wasn't a bunch of them, maybe anywhere from 5 to 7, but at the same time, it's quite a bit. I don't know, it's just somewhere, it's in the middle, I would say. It's not too little, not too much. Really, you can't have too many maps in games like this. So I'm not going to say too much, but it's not too little. You don't feel underwhelmed. But the design of the maps are very good. They got little nooks and crannies, almost like a MOBA map. I mean, it's even. It's even. Because you're on one side, you're not going to be at a disadvantage. Like if your ramp's over here, theirs is going to come from the opposite side. But there's little nooks and crannies that you can go into if you're a certain Met class, which was something I thought was really, really cool.
Is looking to score. The Ninjas have another pilot approaching the goal row for the Vultures.
Now the only issue I really found with this game, even though I loved it so much, this was my favorite game of all the VR titles I have. I loved Rush of Blood, don't get me wrong, but to me Rigs just felt like unlimited, like I would never get tired of it. It's what it felt like. Will I? Probably, but at the moment, no. But one of the things I want to bring up is some of the matchmaking issues. You wait a long time to get into the matches, which is probably because I don't believe there's a lot of people that have the VR and Rigs, together. So you wait a long time, but then you go into an empty lobby. There was one time the game started and I was the only one in there. So and it was the football game, so I was able to just go in, grab the ball, and score, putting my team at an advantage to, before anyone else even came into the game. Which, as soon as I was about to enter the goal, people finally came in. But that definitely needs to be tweaked. That's not fair. Like, that wasn't even in a quick play match. That was in a divisional ranked match. So that definitely needs to be looked at. Now, I could have been the honorable guy that, just didn't score, just stayed there till everyone else got there, but I'm sorry. I gotta take advantage of what I can get.
Reactors. It's game on. Let's play end zone. Don't get too comfortable, folks. This is the Dynamos have the ball.
You got the ball. Go.
The Dynamos are looking dangerous with this attack. Touchdown!
And me personally, I've said this a bunch and I'll say it again. I loved this game, but ultimately, it's your decision. It's always your decision if you want to go put your money on this or not. My job is just to help you know all about the game so you can decide that for yourself. So, your call. But I want to thank you for stopping in. Give a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Any questions you have, feel free to post them below. I'll answer them for you. And hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. It helps me when trying to talk to game companies and get review copies early so that I can compete with people like IGN and all that crap. Because right now, I'm just getting them when they release and they're already out, the reviews for the game. So, I do what I can. And that sub number, having it a little higher, I guess makes them more receptive to me. So you guys take care, you have a good week, and always remember, game with grace.